Say I go fit to chop you like my food. Beautiful, looking nice and looking good.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dolapo and I'm a second year in dental school, just trying to navigate being a young adult, being a professional student. I'm really excited today to be introducing a new series to my channel, and I don't really have a name for it yet, but I think I want to call it Managing Emotions in Dental School. I don't know if you guys have any ideas for catchy names about how to manage your emotions. Definitely drop that in the comments below. So today I want to talk to you guys about anger. And it was really important for me to kind of start this series on my channel because I think it's important to use your gifts to their advantage, right? And one of my gifts that I was blessed with is that I'm extremely emotional, extremely emotionally adept. I'm very good at sensing how others feel. I'm good at feeling things. I wanted to come and talk to you guys about how to manage anger in a professional setting. So obviously I'm a young professional, I'm in school, and these are tips and tricks that I have that not only apply to an educational setting, but can also apply to, a work setting. Maybe you have a project that you're doing with some colleagues. You can really apply this in any professional setting in your life. So yeah, just to give you a little bit of background, we all have emotions. Everyone has emotions. And because we all have emotions, you have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent, meaning you have to learn how to express your emotions in an effective way. And you also have to be able to understand and be emotionally intelligent towards what other people are feeling and how they're choosing to express their emotions. Today, we're going to be discussing anger. And this, I feel like, is a really great topic because, as always, I have a story. And so I'm going to share about just one of the times that I felt very angry in dental school and how I kind of handled that. One day I was in lab, in operative, and I think it was probably on a day where we were doing class 2 because most of the times I'm really frustrated. We're usually doing class 2s in lab. And I think I had asked the professor a question. Anyways, we're going to call this professor Dr. Pepper. Yeah, Dr. Pepper. And so I called Dr. Pepper over. Quick background on Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is very sarcastic and has a very dry sense of humor. And he's a bit of an acquired taste. So a lot of people dislike this specific person, myself included. And so I asked Dr. Pepper a question, and he just gave me one of the snarkiest, rudest remarks. And when you're kind of already on edge because you're already really frustrated about something, or you're just already feeling kind of agitated, and then somebody says something very backhanded unnecessarily. This is what I felt like Dr. Pepper was doing in the moment. He responded in an unnecessarily rude way, and to the point where I even had to look at the people, the classmates that were around me, because I'm like, is this guy serious? Is he really speaking to me like this right now? And it was just one of those things where I felt like there's a certain baseline respect that even as somebody who's my superior, you should be talking to people with, because when I'm in a superior position, I don't talk down on people. So I was just so angry that in this moment, I'm already frustrated about what's going on in lab. And then I'm talking to a professor, trying to ask him a question, and he is what I perceive to be just so disrespectful. And in this moment, I was feeling so overwhelmingly frustrated that I was scared I was going to say something or blow up on him or do something that was very unprofessional. And as a Black woman in a space like that, I really have to control my temper more than anything, because I never want to be deemed as the angry Black woman, or I never want to be deemed as aggressive, or I can't control myself. So I, in that moment, had to step out of lab, and I had to excuse myself politely. And I think I said I had to go to the restroom or something. And I remember I literally walked outside and I walked to my locker, and I just started bursting out crying because I was so angry and I had felt so disrespected in that moment. And I felt like I couldn't genuinely get my feelings out. And so it ended up with me having a little mini breakdown by my locker. And then I went to the bathroom and I kind of cleaned myself up and got myself in check, took my deep breaths. But I really just had to take a time out. One, to kind of process what just happened. Did this professor really just speak to me the way he just spoke to me? how was I feeling, what was going through my head. I really just needed to take that time out and process. And once I kind of processed, I realized, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling it, but this is not the time or the place to fully express everything that I want to express. So I went back into lab, I calmed down, I washed my face, clear everything off, and I continued to do what I needed to do. And when I needed help, I made sure to go to a different professor that wasn't him, so that I wouldn't have to interact with him the rest of the day. Moving forward, every lab after that, I had no more interactions with that professor unless I absolutely had to. Once again, I'm a professional, so if I have to have interactions with you for a profession's sake, I will do so. But by choice, if I could avoid interacting with him, I made sure to do that, because I did not want there to be an occasion where I felt like I had to come out of character, and I also didn't want to give him an opportunity to speak to me in a way that I felt was disrespectful, or to get another opportunity to take me out of character. So I removed myself from that situation, and I think it definitely worked out for me for the better. I have a much more pleasant experience now that I know he's not somebody that I choose to interact with or need to interact with, really. That has definitely not been the first time I've had a situation where I was emotional in lab. I've gone through quite an array of emotions throughout my dental school experience, but I kind of just wanted to share some tips with you guys for how to handle when you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling upset, when you're feeling wronged, when you're feeling like someone's trying to take you out of character, and things you can do to kind of bring you back to center. Tip number 1 is to always stop and take a breath. What is it? Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. The reason I tell you to stop and take a breath is because it's not good to make any sudden actions out of anger, because you're not thinking about the consequences or things that can happen as a result of your anger. So it's always good to pause, take a deep breath, and think about what you're gonna do next. Tip number 2 is to simply excuse yourself politely from whatever situation you're in that's making you uncomfortable or angry. If you're in a situation where you're speaking to someone, you don't feel like you like what's about to come out of your mouth next, you can always simply say, excuse me, just give me a moment, I need to go to the restroom, or excuse me, I'll be right back, I just need to excuse myself, and walk away. If you know that being in front of this person is going to make you continue to get frustrated and continue to not be able to speak clearly, it's definitely okay to walk away and gather yourself in a space outside of where other people are, because sometimes just the presence of other people can agitate you even more. So it's great if you need to go find a place of isolation to just kind of get it out or calm yourself down. Please definitely do that. The third tip I have is to go ahead and just address the situation, not in the moment that you're angry, but once you've had time to kind of calm down and center yourself, address the situation with that person if you feel comfortable. Let them know, hey, so-and-so, professor this, or if it's your coworker, hey Bob, yesterday during this incident when X, Y, and Z happened, it made me feel quite uncomfortable, it made me feel unappreciated, or it made me feel disrespected, or I didn't appreciate the tone in which you XYZ. And you can ask them, was it your intention to evoke this reaction from me, or what was the intention behind what you said? Why did you feel that you said that? Because sometimes there's a disconnect in communication. Maybe they did not intend to make you feel the way you felt. So addressing the situation not only gives you peace of mind of them knowing how you feel, but it also gives them a chance to give you some clarity on what it is that they meant for you to get from that interaction. Tip number 4, if you don't feel comfortable addressing the situation with that person directly, would be to go to a higher up, whether that be an administrative personnel, whether that be other faculty member, or just somebody that you trust that would be a good intermediary between you and the person that you have an issue with, and just go to them and be like, hey, like, this is the situation that happened, and I'm not feeling comfortable going to Dr. Pepper, for example, and telling him how that situation made me feel. Do you think that you could be a mediator and help me convey this, or do you think you could be there with me when I'm conveying this message? Never be afraid to ask for help. If you're really in a situation where you feel uncomfortable and it really made you feel bad, you should never stay in a situation that makes you feel bad. So definitely don't be afraid to go to somebody else to help you address that situation as well. The last and final tip that I have for you is to find an outlet for whatever you're feeling. don't just experience the anger in the moment, calm down and forget about it. Because 9 times out of 10, when you hold on to that, you tend to build animosity and you tend to build more anger and more. And so that when that person does do something else to you that may not be equivalent to the thing that initially upsets you, you may have a disproportionate reaction because you've been harboring all of these feelings. So some of the things that you can do to help take care of that anger is you can talk to a friend, you know, call up your best friend, call up your cousin, call up your sister, and vent. Tell them what happened, release those emotions, release everything you're feeling to somebody where you can be fully transparent and you can have the reaction that you wanted to have in the moment. Another thing you can do is to journal. Write it out. Write all about how Dr. Pepper did this, and I didn't like the way this, and what I really wanted to say was this. Journal it out. You're the only person who's going to read your journal, so you can feel free to get all of your thoughts out there. If you're into physical activity, maybe go take a jog outside or in the gym. It's winter here in Boston, so nobody's really jogging outside, but go to the gym. If you like to cycle, you can cycle. If you like to swim, maybe you can go to an indoor pool. And just like, if physical activity is your thing, then those are great ways to release anger. Another thing would be to talk to a therapist. I think therapy is a really cool thing. I highly recommend that if you are looking to try it, or if you weren't sure if it was for you, definitely seek therapy. I think it's a really great way to talk to an unbiased person and get all your feelings out. Or, you know, you can do other things, like if you're spiritual or religious, you can pray about it. There's just a whole bunch of outlets that you can use to kind of deal with your emotions and just release them so that they're not harboring and, you know, hardening your heart and making you just become angry inside and bitter inside. And it's just good, really good to just release those things. Thank y'all so much for sitting here and listening to my little story time / you know, advice video. And let me know what other emotions y'all would kind of like me to talk to you about, how to deal with in a professional setting. Like I said, I kind of want to make this a series on my channel. So if you have any situations that you've been through, or you want to hear more story times from me or longer story times, I love to share my experiences. So just comment down below and let me know. And as always, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Dolly D.M.D. You can just go ahead and see it right here on the screen. And yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, you know, let me know what you guys like to see. I look forward to catching you guys next Sunday when I upload my next video. So stay tuned. And as always, I love you guys so much.
Beautiful, looking nice and looking good, say I go fit to chop you like my food. Beautiful, looking nice and looking good,